Two titans of North America have arrived at the Little Caesars Arena in a bout that will be historic, no matter what. Will Cloud9 fans get to relish their team snapping a 5-year drought, or will Liquid make LCS history and earn their 4th consecutive title? In the action that's already started here in Detroit as fans competed in the arcade out front and snapped some photos with CLG and Clutch. And now you're getting looks inside the Little Caesars Arena where fans have packed and the energy has been flowing for hours already. Hello and welcome everyone to the Summer Finals presented by Rocket Mortgage, where we preview the battle for the title of LCS champions and look at the history behind Team Liquid versus Cloud9 until the timer reaches 0 and we throw it to the opening ceremony presented by MasterCard. Now, earlier this week, we saw the Cloud9 jungler was named the Summer Split Honda MVP. So let's head to the stage for a word with the man himself.
Sven Skaren, he has been an absolute monster carry for Cloud9. Summer has been all him.
Here comes the chance of a slice picked up there by Sven Skaren.
Oh my goodness!
Build a weapon, one that blows the world
Slaying down the
away.
damage, and they have just popped fake on.
Build a rocket that'll come and take away.
Sven Skaren constantly pulling off ganks, constantly finding engagements.
Gonna come
Sven
back.
Skaren's gonna find him. It's a lot of damage. First blood comes through.
In a day.
Ever since that engage from Sven
Build a
Skaren,
weapon that'll turn us into new
it was just their game.
borns again.
If Cannon walks up too far, I'm good luck.
Build a weapon, one that blows the world
Oh my God! Impact gets popped back.
away. Build a rocket that'll come and take
Damage all comes
away.
in. That's gonna catch Lero 1-for-0 and a good flash. Here comes Sven.
Gonna come back. I am coming back.
Here comes the damage
Day.
for the king.
Build a weapon that'll turn us into new
He played out of his mind.
Sven Skaren on a rampage. This is a carry game for Sven Skaren.
Sven Skaren, congratulations, MVP of the Summer Split. Now, we just got finished watching a bunch of your highlights. Any of those moments really stick out to you?
I like the Jarvan engages against TSM.
Jarvan engages against TSM. Sven Skaren, this award is so important, not just for you, but also for Cloud9. This is the first MVP that you have taken, but also the organization. And after your phenomenal performance this split, you are also the only non-TL member to make that LCS All-Pro team. So what's it like to finally get some recognition for your hard work?
I think it's pretty nice that I got the most positive, but I think also my team is really setting me up for success. So even though I'm the only one from C9 in the All-Pro, I think that basically could have been all my teammates too. I think everyone is supporting me well, and I don't think it's just me playing well.
So then I know Cloud9 is a team of, fun friends, but also a team of trolls. So what was their reaction when you took it? And did any of them think that maybe they were more deserving?
It's been a lot of jokes with me getting MVP. I think my teammates are supporting me well, and I think they might be a little jealous too. But
Who?
I think Niski's a little jealous. But yeah, I think they all like playing with MVP jungler.
All right, well, let's lead into that, because coming in today, there has been a lot of trash talk that Team Liquid is dishing out on Twitter from Doublelift, but also from Jensen, talking about Niski and saying that Niski only looks so good this split because you've been carrying him.
I think Jensen can say whatever he wants. We'll just see today, that whenever Niski's done with him, that it's going to be looking really rough.
Looking forward to it. So in all seriousness, let's take a look at Team Liquid. How do you view them as an opponent coming into this final series?
I think it's going to be a very close game, but I don't think C9 has ever been as hungry as we are right now for this title, so in the end, we're going to win.
I enjoy the confidence right there. Coming in today, final series could go to 5 games. It's going to be long. It's important to stay healthy, stay hydrated. So do you have your sippy cup with you?
Maybe if my management brought it, I hope so.
Or hopefully some extra keyboards. But Svenskeren, one more time for your Summer Split MVP!
You can go through a keyboard per game. I don't care, Svenskeren. It's the finals. Do as you please. The Honda MVP, he battled through a competitive postseason bracket. In the third-place match yesterday, Counterlogic Gaming were on the brink of elimination until they chained together the reverse sweep versus Clutch to kick off the weekend in Detroit. That, of course, leaves the top 2 standing as Cloud9 and Team Liquid contest for the title today. Cloud9, they come into this final hoping to do away with the drought that's been plaguing them for the last 5 years, and they have had so many opportunities to do it.
I mean, that's really the kicker thing for a lot of C9 fans. It's not that it's been a while since we won, but they've had 5 finals appearances where they have failed to find 1 victory.
And they've made it into a finals every single year of the LCS with some iconic moments where they narrowly missed this Wild Turtle Quadra-kill in Game 5 in 2014. Then the game where Jensen was hard carrying in Game 5 against TSM until the missed Zonias.
But the most peculiar thing is that this team, even though they have lacked that domestic success, they continue to be our best performing team at an international level, which is why we always see them as this team that should be at the top, that should be getting those titles. They just haven't found them.
In a sense, it makes it more frustrating,
Yes,
right? When you can see what you can achieve on the international stage, and then you wonder why you fall short domestically.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's so strange because they also do it with a number of different rosters, too. You saw one of the replays had Ray, you know, something that I think a lot of people forget about that part of C9's history, that they've had so many different pieces and so many different chances. It just speaks to how good the team really has been. Just haven't been able to get over the hump.
Only Sneaky remains on the roster from those title seasons 5 years ago. They have to do it, though, today against possibly the best team that's ever existed in the LCS and a team that's trying to complete what's never been done before, the 4-peat.
And I don't think you'll have to say possibly the best team if they complete the 4-peat. Then I think they would be undisputedly the best team in LCS history since no one has ever done that before. And they have had a close call in the spring split. We got to watch Game 5 if you were on the stream early, how close that TSM series was in the spring split. But if TL can string this series of 2 years in a row through multiple metas with 2 different rosters together, it will be something for the org.
And the cornerstone being Doublelift, too. He's had 12 best of series victories in a row in the postseason. That's insane that he has not dropped one of these series in over 2 years, almost 3 years almost. It's absolutely incredible.
And all of this for TL is just their rise to dominance and now kind of being charged with continuing it. How long can they extend this legacy before it is perhaps broken?
I mean, every team just looks at if you defeat TL, you are somehow upgraded as a team. You have defeated everybody. It's the benchmark for what it means to be a North American great talent, but the roster is just so stacked that you could legitimately build a new super team around each of the individual members if you pluck them out.
Now, you mentioned international play. Both of these teams, they're already heading to Worlds. So picture this. In a few months, North America is making you proud on the world stage. Would you rather be watching from home or live in Paris? The answer is obvious, and this year MasterCard is collaborating with Riot Games to award one lucky fan and a guest with a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the 2019 World Championship Finals. From August 23rd to September 22nd, any player from the United States and Canada, with the exception of Quebec, who uses and saves their MasterCard for purchases in the League client, will automatically be eligible for a chance to win the sweepstakes. You can find additional rules and details about the promotion at riot.com/LCSMC. Stay tuned in, though, for the start of Worlds with the play-in stage, October 2nd at watch.lolesports.com, and cheer on TL and C9 as they make the push for the Summoners Cup. We do have to step away for a quick break, but when we return, we look at Team Liquid versus Cloud9, lane by lane, before their clash for the title. Welcome back to the Little Caesars Arena, where we're gearing up for Cloud9 versus Team Liquid before the LCS opening ceremony presented by MasterCard. Before we jump into the matchup, though, I'm excited to give you a sneak peek at this season's arc in HBO's Ballers, which has teams competing at the LCS studio as they try their hand at League of Legends.
Gaming accounts now for over $100 billion in revenue. Games are overhyped and overvalued.
Just what white record exec said about hip-hop.
That is the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me, you monster. I'm only white on the outside.
Life, it's all about getting outside of your comfort zone.
Maybe gaming should be my next career.
We gotta get you focused on your day job.
I want to try something new.
Staying committed to what you believe doesn't come easy.
Esports? You know League of Legends, right?
He wants to be a player.
Are you serious about being a professional gamer? I like to play.
Welcome to League of Legends.
To the victor goes the spoils.
Be honest, Dash, you only had us play that trailer because you have like 2 words in it, right?
You called me out.
Yeah.
Why
Welcome to
you
League
gotta
of
out me
Legends,
in front
says
of this
Dash.
massive crowd like that?
It's on HBO now.
It was an absolute blast to be filming that. Definitely check it out. Baller's an incredible show on HBO. The premiere is tonight, so keep your eyes out. It's hard, though, not to color today's matchup when we talk about it with the fact that Clutch Gaming took Team Liquid to 5 games just last week, where the championship squad had to go back to Sonateric to close out the series.
Yeah, it was a super close match. They were pushed to the brink, and I think that's why people look at it, because they look at Clutch as a slightly weaker version of a lot of what Cloud9 tries to do as well. And when they're already being pushed that hard by a weaker opponent, it's really scary for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I think the teams share a lot of similarities as far as how they might try and play an assassin mid lane and go for flanks, but I do feel like Team Liquid may have been looking past Clutch a little bit and rebuckled down in that game 5. So you don't do this with many teams unless they're 3-time consecutive champions, but I'm willing to say that we're going to see a stronger Team Liquid today.
Yeah, that absolutely will come way more prepared, having met Cloud9 before in the finals, knowing that they've played with some of the players as well. You know you're not going to underestimate Svenskeren, a former teammate and finals winner with Doublelift.
And knowing that they dropped both regular season games to Cloud9, I spoke I spoke individually with Doublelift, and he definitely cited those losses, but said he's confident, even in the face of that they can come away with the win here today. That's going to bring us, though, to the mid lane, because that's really what I want to talk about. Avali talked about it. There's been a lot of words exchanged between these two. Nisqy, Jensen. Nisqy's looking to do what Jensen could never do on Cloud9, and that's win a title.
And I like looking at the parallels between these two mid laners, because when Jensen was on C9, people said Jensen was only successful because of how well C9 played around them. And now they're saying Nisqy's only successful because of how good Svenskeren is. So if Nisqy can actually win a title with C9, it could mean so much for his reputation. But there is already a lot of salt on both sides.
I mean, besides that, if he wins a title with C9, yes, Jensen can accomplish success with Team Liquid, but it also shows that the roster in C9 really was never the issue. It would have hurt him to know, okay, I went to a team, but it was my mistake to recognize that Cloud9 could not have won a title.
And funny enough, he goes from C9 to Team Liquid, which is, in everyone's mind, Doublelift's team.
Yeah.
And now he's finally on the All-Pro first team. And
True.
In the last series, he was a huge factor in their wins. He actually picked up the series MVP for that one because of those amazing carry performances in their wins. And so Jensen is finally starting to get all that credibility that I think a lot of people feel like he should have been getting a long time ago. And now Nisqy has a chance to kind of butt in there and grab it for himself.
And the interesting thing was that Jensen came into that semifinal matchup with that wrist injury, not playing a lot with the team, so switching over to watching a lot more VODs, watching those games, studying how does Cloud9 play, knowing that they're going to be their opponents. That does give you a good opportunity to see what are the patterns that Svenskeren and Nisqy tend to gravitate to, and that will really make it a lot easier for you to recognize how to play mid lane against a very dangerous mid-jungle duo.
And while that matchup is new for the final stage, we have 2 junglers that have essentially been facing off, or at least alternated appearances in the finals since spring of 2015.
Yeah, there's 9 consecutive finals with Svenskeren or Xmithy, or both of them in it. And we do have the MVP in Svenskeren against Xmithy, who, if he wins, will have the 2nd most LCS titles of all players. So some historic stuff happening in this matchup.
And I think that's what's really interesting to me is I think the accolades that these players have speaks to their play styles as well. Svenskeren is this monstrous pop-off player who's going to snowball his team to victory, picks up the MVP. Smithy, quieter, more controlled focus, quietly has the 2nd most, titles of all time in the LCS. So that really, to me, speaks to not just how good they are, but also how they shine individually.
Which I think is actually going to play out really well in the matchup. We hear from a lot of Team Liquid members that Xmithy is all about tracking the other jungler. Does he know where they're at all times? Whereas Svenskeren will have to try to be more unpredictable. He is the more explosive player. He does make a lot more flashy plays. But if the other jungler, if Xmithy is tracking you, you're never going to be able to get off the ground. So Svenskeren has to get creative with the pathing and the picks to surprise Xmithie and catch Team Liquid off guard to hopefully snowball a victory.
And just as with the mid lane matchup where we talk about Niski being Jensen's replacement on Cloud9, if we go ahead and pop up to the top lane, similar situation.
Just last year.
Licorice versus Impact.
Yeah, they played in the finals last year. Unfortunately for Licorice, Impact got the best of him. But this is a really interesting one because Licorice was starting to develop himself as the premier top laner in North America. At the end of last year, that's what everyone's consensus was heading into spring as well. But then in summer, that totally flipped around.
Yeah, and I think Impact has been around for so long across so many different metas. Last year, yes, Impact was the tank player. Even when we saw some of the old highlights, it was the Impact and Ray sword and shield. Impact has proven so much versatility, and I think this split solidified himself as the best top laner, even though before the wrist injury, maybe sometime even in spring, you would have said Licorice. So those opinions have been seesawing for the last couple years, have a chance to flip again depending on the results today.
The man has a Jack skin from Season 3. I mean, he has been around for so long.
Yeah, without a doubt. But now we have to talk about the elephant in the room. It's the bot lane. Doublelift, Core JJ, Sneaky, Zeyzal, quite possibly the best bot lane we've ever seen.
Yeah, and the two most storied players here are Doublelift and Sneaky. Doublelift is 12-2 against Sneaky in the postseason and also has 6 titles to Sneaky's 2. But they do face each other fairly often, and I can't wait to see what happens.
The thing that's incredible, too, is both of them actually have 8 finals appearances. It's just the fact that Doublelift has actually been able to win a lot more of them, and that's why he has kind of become the undisputed best bot laner in North American history. As well as the fact, we were talking about earlier, that 12 series win streak that he's on currently, able to add another one to his belt potentially here.
Listen, the ADs are fun to talk about, but the reason why Doublelift stepped up was the addition of Core JJ. He was really the runner-up for MVP with only 4 points. Quoted by Doublelift, the best support he's ever played in, a guy that's been to World Finals twice, won one of them, and he played in North America before, came back for the sole purpose of really claiming this region and finding success here. This guy has had so much success in his career that when you contrast it to Zeyzal, it really feels like a much worse mismatch than in the Doublelift versus Sneaky matchup.
And while we could go on and on and on about this matchup, nobody wants it more than the players themselves.
In the beginning, I was looking for status. I was looking for people to recognize me as a great player. People recognize me as a great player now. I was looking for a lot of titles. Now I have the most titles. I was looking for a lot of things, and I got them all. And now, at its most basic form, I'm just looking for competition.
There is no defense. Svenskeren shows up, but the base will fall. Back-to-back sweeps. TL's the best team in North America.
The last time I was in the finals was 1 year ago. It was against Team Liquid. We basically got smashed 3-0. I'm here because I'm just sick and tired of losing. The last 2 years, every single time we made finals, lost in quarterfinals, lost in semis. I don't want to see another team raise that trophy. I want to be the one on that stage in the final moments, winning it all.
I've been searching. What does that mean, Nate? I've been learning. Grabbing my keepsakes, leaving my burdens. Well, I brought a few with me. I'm not perfect. Looking at the view like this concerns me. Picking up the cues right. I'm quite nervous. Hating when I lose sight. Life gets blurry and things might hurt me. It's probably gonna be a long journey, but
with our addition in Niski in the roster and TL's addition of Jensen, basically we won out of the trade.
World out there, kids, grab your coats. Been a minute, I know, now I'm back to Rome. Looking for the antidote to crack the code. Pretty good at it, only pity given to me, but I can't condone. Talking down to me, I'ma have to crack your nose for cracking jokes. I'm looking for the map to hope.
A lot of people are still thinking of like, oh, I'm the replacement for Jensen. Personally, I don't think I like being compared to him. If people compare me to like Faker, then like sure, you know, like he's the greatest mid laner of all times, right? But like Jensen, like, he didn't even accomplish, like, a lot.
I think Niski's a bit too overconfident for how little he has accomplished. I don't think he's ever played in the finals before, so I think he should, you know, maybe, like, get an ego check or something, but, I mean, I'm sure I'll give it to him at the finals.
Where the beat go?
Team Liquid, show why they're the best team in North America.
I said don't touch it. Now y'all done it. I can be critical, never typical. Intricate with every syllable, I'm a criminal. Intimate but never political, pretty visual. Even if you hate it, I'll make you feel like you're in it though. You call me what you want, but never call me forgettable. Leave you deep in thought, I can never swim in your kiddie pool. Waited, I've been thinking this videos.
3 LCS titles in a row.
4 in a row. If we're able to do it, I think we'll be the only team to ever do it.
If TL does manage to get the 4 titles in a row, I don't think you can ever argue that they're not the best team NA has ever had.
We just solidify ourselves as the best team that's ever been playing in LCS history.
My mission right now is just to stop TL from winning the 4th.
I think competition just drives my life, and being a part of finals, that's just what it is. It's like the ultimate competition. You know, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be happy if we lose, but I'm looking for a competitive series. I wasn't happy that Clutch took us to 5 games, but it was fun. And I hope Cloud9 makes it fun.
It's that time again. Better grab your balloons and invite your friends. Seat belts back on, yeah, strap them in. Look at me, everybody, I'm smiling big. On a road right now that I can't predict. Tell me tone that down, but I can't resist. Y'all know that sound, better raise your fist. The search begins, I'm back, so enjoy the trip.
The players, they well know what's at stake here, and so do the fans. But now I turn to you and ask you one very pivotal and pointed question, which is, what is going to be the most important thing in this series? We ran through lane by lane, but where does it all turn?
For me, it's tempting to talk about the bot lane, but I think that that is most likely going to continue going in Team Liquid's way. But what's interesting is in the 2 games they played in the regular season, Team Liquid's bot lane was able to get advantages, but they were trumped by the advantages that were gained by C9's mid-jungle duo. And so if those are the team's win conditions, TL bot lane, C9 mid-jungle, they need to do something to stop that from happening again. Even if your bot lane wins, that's not enough. So you need to stop mid from popping off or actually snowball even harder through the bot lane.
And for me, I do think it's the MVP Doublelift, the MVP Core JJ in the bottom lane that is the most important thing. I think the fact that it's just assumed that they will win doesn't make it less important to me. I think for TL to win their 4th series, those guys need to continue to dominate the way they consistently do. And the normal is not Jensen getting smashed in the mid lane. I think that will happen. And then the deciding factor in the series would be Doublelift and Core JJ dominating bot lane.
I don't feel strongly about any individual matchup. We're in finals. Everything that happened in this split doesn't matter anymore. It's all about both these teams are at the peak of competition and they can win on any given day. So emotions, being able to come out and bounce back with a strong draft as well. We saw yesterday Clutch being up 2-0. If you are not holding yourself together, you can be tilted off and win or lose a game. So I think that holding it down together, composure with strong drafts will determine today.
The question we've all been waiting for. Who's going to claim the title here at the Little Caesars Arena? Down the line, Crumb, starting with you.
Well, Dash, you heard it from me. Finals, all about emotion, all about whether that is continuing the momentum of a strong win or bouncing back from a tilting loss. And there's no place to learn that except having been there before. And when you look at the Team Liquid roster and you see that between all 5 players, there is over 30 years of LCS experience, this is a team that's on track to be the greatest team LCS has ever had, and you bet that 4-peat Team Liquid for me.
TL here, does the bot lane do it?
We don't have much time. I think they do, but I think it's extremely close.
Mark?
They already flew it. Team Liquid, there we go.
They already flew it. You see that countdown clock behind me. The stage is set. We're ready to go as I throw it down to the LCS opening ceremony. Present